Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Buteo Books, an independent family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. ButeoBooks.com.
And by Ocean State Bird Club. We're running new online talks about topics like owls and cuckoos to enhance your birding skills. Learn more by following us on Facebook and on our website, oceanstatebirdclub.org.
Good morning. Welcome to our show number 821. Starting off with a couple of items from the Talkin' Birds email bag. One is from Kelly in Green Harbor, Massachusetts. She says, "Hi, Ray. I put out birdseed daily on my walkway here. I get all sorts of beautiful birds. The doves were here already, and I noticed a red-headed dove with a pretty colorful body. I looked it up, and I believe it's a fruit dove." Kelly wondered if we'd seen any of these birds, and she says she's going to try to get a picture of it. We haven't. Well, a fruit dove would be a pretty remarkable sighting, I think, for anywhere in the U.S. It's native to Southeast Asia and Oceania, including Australia. And our best guess, as we've said to Kelly, is that this was likely an escaped cage bird, but quite a striking sight nonetheless. Thank you, Kelly. We also received a note and video from Tammy in Mansfield, Connecticut. A video of Tammy and a blue jay out on her deck, with the blue jay enthusiastically eating the food that Tammy provided. Nothing unusual there yet, but then Tammy finds that she can get very close to this blue jay, and she begins to pet the blue jay, stroking its feathers as the blue jay continues eating, apparently not bothered at all by this unusual human interaction. The video suggests, by the way, that the blue jay was quite healthy, at least judging by its appearance and appetite. And that observation seems to be supported by the fact that a few moments later, the bird flew away. Our Freya McGregor suggests maybe this blue jay was hand-raised by somebody. In any case, you can check out this pretty amazing video on our Facebook page. And if it's not there yet, shortly on our TalkinBirds.com website. Definitely worth a look. That would be the sound of our mystery bird. It's a small, mostly gray songbird with a short stubby bill, a short crest on the head, and a medium to long tail. Our bird inhabits the warm, dry oak woods of the West, from southern Oregon to Baja, California, feeding primarily on insects, which it gleans from bark and the foliage of trees. That's a preview of our Mystery Bird contest coming along in just a little bit, and the prize includes a beautiful big bag of shade-grown, bird-friendly Birds and Beans coffee, our favorite coffee around here, plus a Joel Yankees bottoms-up 16-inch finch feeder, perfect for those wintering finches that may be visiting your yard. Goldfinches as well, and chickadees and woodpeckers and nuthatches. Prizes there in our Mystery Bird contest coming along just a little bit later in the show. And now, if we may, a royal salute, please. Saluting more Talkin' Birds ambassadors who are helping us get the word out about the joy and the wonder of birds and the importance of preserving our planet. And thank you to Kimberly Mutu from Pacifica, California. She says, "I've taken many wonderful birding classes with Golden Gate Audubon, but live in San Mateo County, just south of San Francisco, so I joined Sequoia Audubon and completed the Christmas bird count with the team. I'm also a water bird docent at Alcatraz Island National Park. But we will have to wait until summer 2021 before the park will let us return." She says, "Thanks for the topics you cover, and especially the connection to ecology." And she says, "Because of you, I now carry a small garbage bag and gloves in my backpack to pick up trash while birding." We call it plurting. Thank you so much Kimberly, for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador and for all your other contributions to the show. And thank you to Judy Lethbridge from Castleberry, Florida. Judy says, I've been an animal and nature lover my entire life. In fact, I'm a certified veterinary technician who's been working in the veterinary field for 35 years. And my road to becoming a birder was through photography. Being a nature lover, I wanted to photograph the outdoors, and my inherent attraction to animals led me to start photographing birds. That was when my natural curiosity took over, and I needed to know more about the subjects. And a birder was born. That is so cool. Thank you, Judy. Judy posts, by the way, her beautiful avian images on Instagram at Feathered Florida. Thank you so much, Judy, for that and for becoming the Talking Birds ambassador. And Talking Birds listeners, we hope you'll consider joining Judy and Kimberly and our many other ambassadors in helping us get the word out about birds and conservation. Just go to our website, talkingbirds.com, to sign up and click on the Get Involved button there at the top of the page. Still to come on our show today, we'll talk with the Owl Research Institute's Denver Holt out in Charlotte, Montana. Plus, we'll catch up with Mike O'Connor on Cape Cod in our Let's Ask Mike segment about the arrival of red-winged blackbirds and other signs of spring. And up next, a bird with really long legs and kind of a football-shaped body is our featured feathered friend. Presented by Birdwatching Magazine. For more than a quarter century, Birdwatching has been North America's premier magazine about wild birds and birding. One place to look for storks is in mythology. Greek, Chinese, and European myths portray the stork as bringing good luck, the season of spring, and of course, babies, with that last myth associated with the white stork of Europe and popularized by a 19th century Hans Christian Andersen fable. Meanwhile, a good place to look for today's featured feathered friend, the wood stork, would be along the coasts of Florida, as well as Georgia and South Carolina. The wood stork is a large, mostly white wading bird, about 3 feet tall with a 5-foot wingspan. It has a black tail and black flight feathers. The bill is long and thick with a downward curving tip. Its legs are gray-black, and its flesh-colored feet become pinkish in the males in breeding season. Thanks to its dark gray, featherless head and neck, the bird has earned the nicknames Flinthead and Ironhead. The wood stork forages in standing water for fish, amphibians, and crayfish by holding its bill open just under the water's surface and snapping it shut when prey is detected. It's easily separated from herons, ibises, and egrets thanks to its hefty bill and its large size. Yours truly first spotted a wood stork at the Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary in Florida, when one soared on wide outstretched wings high above like a silent fighter jet. And the bird usually is pretty quiet, except in the breeding colonies where the nestlings make quite a racket. Mycteria americana, the wood stork. Today's Talking Birds featured feathered friend. Welcome again to our show, number 821. And if you missed that website address, we hope you'll check it out at talkingbirds.com. Yes, no G in talking. Denver Holt is a leading owl expert and the founder and president of the Owl Research Institute in Charlotte, Montana. He started that institute more than 30 years ago. The institute today, one of the premier owl research centers in the world, and its founder and president joins us on the phone right now. Good morning, Denver.
Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for telling me when we spoke on Thursday about the amazing sightings you had there. I want to see if I have this number right here. 75 short-eared owls in one day?
Yeah, we had two groups. So we went out there just checking on them, and one of the ranchers had seen some. And anyhow, long story short, the first group came up was about 30, and the second group about 45. But, it's been that way this winter here. The hunters who have been out in the fields hunting ducks and pheasants and geese, have been jumping groups of 15 to 20 to 30 short-ears everywhere. We probably saw, there's probably 200 short-eared owls around right now. And, it's hard to say why. Are they moving through? There's a lot of voles, so they might be just hanging out for a while. And, it's the onset of the breeding season for us here right now. I mean, it's snowing, but the great horned owl started nesting about 10 days ago, and we're starting to hear some of the owls singing.
Wow. So great horned owls really, I guess, the first owls to nest, right?
Yeah. This year in particular is interesting. We had our really first cold snap here about a week ago. So on the 10th of February, roughly, we think, she decided to nest. It was, maybe 0 degrees out. Then it went down over the next couple of days to 27 below. And she's sitting on eggs. And we're sitting right near her, roosting right near her and feeding her at night.
What an incredible thing to be able to incubate eggs in that temperature. But I guess they're used to it. They've done it before. Wow.
Yeah.
So the owl. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying it's pretty neat adaptation. They're able to do it. Only female owls incubate and brood the chicks. Males provide food and protection. So they each have their roles. And they adhere to it. It seems to work pretty good.
So far, so good. So the Owl Research Institute, you founded it 30 years ago, and research, conservation, education, the three kind of pillars of what you do. Could you give us a quick overview, Denver, about those three things?
That's correct. That's how we've got it geared up. But, I would have to say, it's more for selfish reasons in the beginning. I wanted to be a field researcher. And, without offending all my friends, eventually what happens if you get out and get a job after college or whatever, you end up behind a desk for the most part, whether you're a prof at the U, work for state or federal agencies. And most of your life is an administrative biologist. You don't get to get out in the field. And I wanted to just be like the construction worker of, wildlife biology, do field research. And so that's how it started. We do long-term field studies, which is rare anymore, and multiple, large sample sizes, multiple projects, and I don't know, we're pretty well known just for that, but as well as our ability to communicate from education standpoint, and then provide information for conservation and management. So the long-term research is the key, though.
So, and do you have a podcast? I'm not sure where I read that.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. Other people have that. I'm just kind of like the grunt. I go out and do the field work, but I have, some young people that do Facebook and Instagram, and I don't know about a podcast. I don't think we have one of those, but I'd have to ask Kellen and Liberty. They would know. Okay,
you can check and get back to us on
that. I just report to my staff and they do the rest.
Okay. But you do have films, right? Owl Notes.
Yeah, we did this with Dan Cox out of Bozeman. We've done a number of years of work with him. We were to cover National Geographic some time back, and he did all the photo essay for Geographic, and we've done some of the other stuff. So Dan and I and our team have been working on these owl podcasts, more from a research/education/ conservation standpoint.
Okay. And I want to recommend your newsletter to people. It's an annual newsletter called The Roost, and that is pretty cool. I'll give the website address here, and I'll give it again at the end just to make sure, but it's owlresearchinstitute.org. Pretty easy to remember. And one other thing, Denver, you are not only an expert in owls, but I'm told also pretty good with owl mimicry. I wonder if you might give us a couple of examples here.
I have coffee here, so we're lucky here, and I can kind of use the liquid to help me get through this. One of the ones that I always enjoyed, because I grew up in Massachusetts in Belmont, and I started my early years running around listening for eastern screech owls, and so I kind of started mimicking it instead of taking tapes up. So anyway, here's my eastern screech owl if anybody likes it.
Okay.
So anyway, I learned to do that, And
if there's any around here, they'll be approaching our studio any minute, I'm sure. Go ahead, sorry.
And then the Boreal, was another really nice one, too. And actually, we do the Boreal surveys. It's kind of neat. You're out there, and right about now, this time of year, March or so, when they start tooting a little bit, but you're on 5 or 6 feet of snow, and it's freezing, there's nothing to do, and you hear that kind of hollow whistle in the distance. It's actually kind of pretty. And you count satellites and learn the constellations while you're at each station doing your surveys.
Pretty cool. Hey, while we still have just a little bit of time, I know people are intrigued, certainly, with having owls if they're in the right place, maybe in their yard or close by their yard. I wonder if you could offer a couple of tips about providing boxes or nests for owls and where people might find more info about that.
Yeah, we get a lot of emails and text messages on that. And so we just try to say, it's pretty easy to build an owl box, but you can Google the dimensions and stuff anytime. But yeah, it's, for a few people, and I grew up in Massachusetts, that, were interested in having them in the backyard. We just made these little owl boxes, got the dimensions somewhere back then, probably in the literature, and put the screech owl boxes up. And in every case, a screech owl came to someone's backyard and took up residence. It's really pretty simple to do. And so, depending on what you want, if you go down to the vineyard, way back when I used to work in Massachusetts, they put up big barn owl, boxes, I think they were kind of like trunks, and they were very successful, and I know they've done it in Florida. So it's really not too hard a thing to do, and you can Google dimensions for the species you're interested in and just pay attention to it. And very often you get a screech owl in your backyard or your kitchen window, depending where you want to see it. We study Boreal owls in the nest boxes that were put up by the Forest Service years ago. So it's pretty simple. On the upside, it's a nice hobby, and maybe the downside, if you are dependent on it, then maybe you're not identifying the natural nest sites that are needed for things like Boreals and sawlets and screech owls. So we try to find the natural sites and then identify the characteristics that would be important. So there's a trade-off there. Easy access, great information in the boxes, but maybe you're not telling resource managers what to save for snags and dead trees and things like that. Cavity nesting owls are dependent on those.
Denver Holt is a leading owl expert and the founder and president of the Owl Research Institute in Charlotte, Montana, and he's a construction worker of the field ornithologist world. Denver, thank you so much, and I would love to have you come on the show again before long.
Okay, I hope it was worth it to you. Thank you very much. It was
indeed.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Denver. That website again is the Owl Research, not the, but Owl Research Institute.org. Really worth looking at. Up next here, it's our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. Beauty-O Books, covering everything from backyard birding to general ornithology, from field guides to photography skills, biography, fiction, and humor. You'll find it all, along with the knowledgeable customer service you've been looking for in one convenient place. BeautyOBooks.com. B-U-T-E-O. BeautyOBooks.com.
My name is Leona Mattias, and I am calling from Elliott Lake, Ontario. Being a Talking Birds ambassador gives me the opportunity to talk to other people about birds, and because I'm disabled, about being a disabled birder, what the problems are. But mostly it is just being able to talk about something that we both really like, which is birds.
Talkin' Birds listeners, we hope you'll join our ambassadors family at talkinbirds.com.
Our Mystery Bird Contest is presented by Red Start Birding. Red Start Birding is your new resource for birding optics, gear, and expertise. Great birding starts at redstartbirding.com. And here's the sound of our mystery bird. Our mystery bird is a small, mostly gray-brown songbird with a short, stubby bill, a short crest on the head, and a medium to long tail. Our bird inhabits the warm, dry oak woods of the West, from southern Oregon to Baja California, feeding primarily on insects, which it gleans from bark and the foliage of trees. Clues there in the sound of our mystery bird, and our prizes include a big 12-ounce bag of delicious, shade-grown, bird-friendly Birds and Beans coffee. It is good. And Droll Yankees' big bottoms-up 16-inch Finch feeder that comes with the Droll Yankees lifetime warranty against squirrel damage. It can be hung or pole mounted. Those are the prizes. And the number to call is 781-837-4900. We urge you to make your call as soon as you can, so we'll have time. It's 781-837-4900. As always, if we don't get a correct answer, we'll do a drawing and choose a winner from among those nearly correct answers received. Again, it's 781-837-4900. Meanwhile, Mike O'Connor has some songs, or not some song, but some signs of spring. It's Let's Ask Mike in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to cross a few species off your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you want to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. It's Let's Ask Mike time with the one and only Mike O'Connor from the legendary Birdwatchers General Store. There in Orleans on Cape Cod. Good morning, Mike, and happy early spring to you. I know it's only February, but we're seeing the signs, right?
A little bit, yeah, we are seeing the signs. I know you talked a little bit about
Late
the redwings. I've had redwings in my yard, and they've been customers report them calling, especially if they go near some marshes. And I think, in the old days when we were growing up, we said, the robins are the first sign of spring. But to me, it's really the redwings. They come back this time of year, and they're very vocal almost right away. So where we live, we have robins year-round. Even in the dead of the winter, but the redwings are gone, and now that they're back, it's a sign of spring. And people are also reporting woodcocks.
Wow!
So if you live near an open field, even now, and it's a nice night, they'll be out there displaying. Stop by an open field someplace, and you'll hear that crazy call that they make in that elaborate display, and that's a sure sign of spring.
Yeah.
And with that, the birds, even if you get up early on a nice morning, you hear the chickadees and the titmice and the cardinals calling, and they're starting to spread out their territory. It's not hard and fast yet, but on a nice day, they start calling, and you can hear, that little chickadee call.
That was an excellent imitation.
That was rich little birds they call.
Yeah, so when it's nice weather, they'll kind of jump the gun, and then they'll kind of drop back again, won't they, if it gets cold again?
Right. If it turns nasty, they just shut it down. They say, okay, well, that's enough of that for a while. But with that in mind, if it's a nice day, they're out looking at birdhouses. So if you have a birdhouse that you had out last summer, and you didn't even clean it out in the fall, and even if you did, I would get out there on a nice day, because there's not going to be a lot of nice days. It's kind of hit and miss. And it takes you 10, 15 minutes to go through and make sure it's all cleaned out and ready to go. Because the birds, I've had chickadees going in and out of boxes now. And so I've had mine cleaned out. And even if you cleaned it out in this last summer or last fall, mice can move in and things can move in over the wintertime. So you want to have it going, because a lot of people will say, well, I put out a box, but the birds didn't use it. And I'll ask them if they've looked into it and, check it out. And they, well, no. But you see, so it's a good idea, especially with, we get a break in the weather. I know you have a wide listening audience, but here in New England, after today, we're going to have a nice stretch of weather, so it would be a good idea to do that.
When you're cleaning out the houses now, is it just enough to kind of sweep them out, or should you be disinfecting them?
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I've read, people where they put a mild bleach solution, and that's fine. You can do that, but then air it out really well first, and rinse it out really well. But I don't push that, because if I can get people just to clean out the mess, I feel like I've accomplished something, because other people can't do that. So, yeah, and wear gloves and just clean the stuff out. It'll be fine.
Thank you, Mike.
Talk to you later.
All right, Mike O'Connor at the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod.
Birdwatching Magazine has a new membership program. Benefits include detailed bird ID articles from Ken Kaufman and David Sibley, tips and stories about bird photography, access to quarterly e-workshops on identifying and photographing birds, and complimentary print and digital subscriptions to Birdwatching Magazine. Learn more at birdwatchingdaily.com/memberships.
By the way, that was red-winged blackbirds that Mike O'Connor was talking about there. But up in Maine, they've been seeing a bird called the redwing. It's a European bird, so causing a lot of excitement up there. And there's a thing from WGME there just a few days ago, still reporting on this bird. So maybe it's still up there. Our friend Doug Hitchcox from Maine Audubon says this bird is special because it's essentially on the wrong side of the Atlantic Ocean. Back to our mystery bird contest. This is a long way from the Atlantic Ocean as well, out on the west coast. A small, mostly gray-brown songbird with a short, stubby bill, a short crest on the head, and a medium to long tail. Our mystery bird. What is it? Ethan is in Illinois somewhere. Good morning, Ethan.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. Whereabouts in Illinois, if you care to say?
Sandwich, Illinois, so the northern part.
Northern Illinois. All right. What about our mystery bird then, Ethan?
I'm going to go with the western kingbird.
Western kingbird, and our panel says... I guess they're not buying it, Ethan, but it's a
bummer. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Give us a call again.
All right.
Ethan, there in Sandwich, Illinois. Not quite nailing our mystery bird. Let's try Andrew somewhere in Virginia. Good morning, Andrew.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Andrew?
Good.
All right, good. Let's get on to it, right? What is our mystery bird?
An oak titmouse.
An oak titmouse is right. I can't say that, but it is correct. Oak titmouse is right. That's pretty good. Did you figure that out on your own? Any help, or what? How'd you get that?
My dad helped me a little bit.
A little bit, okay, but you mostly did it yourself. Well, that's nice. Good job, Ethan. And if you'll stay on the line, we'll arrange to send you those beautiful prizes. All right, thank you. Oh, I think I called him Ethan. No wonder I'm confusing. It's Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that, Andrew. I got the bird name mispronounced and got your name wrong. So I'm off to a good start, but the show is almost over, so I'll be okay. Thank you again, Andrew. Okay. That is about it for our show this morning, and maybe a good thing that it is. Let's see. Next week, we'll talk about owls again, but this time in connection with an ongoing dispute between birders in Central Park, New York. Plus, we'll get some conservation news from Washington, D.C., Detroit, Michigan, and Clermont, France, along with more Mike O'Connor birding advice from Cape Cod and some thoughts on diversity and inclusion in birding from our Freya McGregor down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So we'll be all over the place next week on our show. We hope you'll tune in and be with us for that. Thanks to our amazing Talking Birds team. Our senior producer, Debbie Bleacher, our outreach coordinator, Freya McGregor, special assistant, Audrey Stack, and our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown. See you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Buteo Books, an independent family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. ButeoBooks.com.
And by Ocean State Bird Club. We're running new online talks about topics like owls and cuckoos to enhance your birding skills. Learn more by following us on Facebook and on our website, oceanstatebirdclub.org.